Most folks think life slows down after 60, like you're just supposed to sit still and fade out. But I've learned the hard way, this can be the best part of the whole ride, if you quit dragging old habits into a new season. There are a few things that used to make sense when you were younger, and now they don't. Not anymore. Let's talk about 7 of them. Part 1. Always waiting after 60. Later is a trap. I'll tell you where later lives. It lives right out by the mailbox. You're standing there in your slippers, holding a Social Security letter in one hand and a utility bill in the other. You look at that number. You feel that little pinch in your chest, and you say, "All right, later. I'll deal with it later." That's how it starts. Real quiet. Then you go back inside. You sit at the kitchen table, and your coffee gets cold while you stare at nothing. The house is too quiet in the morning, the kind of quiet that makes you hear the fridge hum. You've got that old chair you always sit in, like it's worn into your bones. You tell yourself you'll get up in a minute, but the minutes slip like loose change in your pocket. Listen, I'm not judging you. I've done it too. I've said later about the doctor, about the bills, about the leaky faucet, about seeing my own friends. I've said later about trips I wanted to take and calls I should have made. But after 60, later stops being a harmless word and starts being a trap you don't see until you're in it. Because when you're younger, you've got time you can waste and your body bounces back. You can say, "Next month," and next month feels real. But when you're older, time moves different. It moves fast and slow at the same time. The days crawl, but the years run, and that's the part that scares people. You know what later really is. It's fear in a nicer shirt, fear of bad news, fear of a hard talk, fear of looking at your bank account and seeing the truth, fear of being told you can't do something anymore or that you waited too long, so you stall. You keep busy with small stuff, and you avoid the big stuff that matters. I've watched folks do this with money, and it breaks my heart. They keep tossing bills on the counter like it'll all sort itself out, and it never does. The electric bill doesn't care if you're tired. It still shows up. Gas prices don't care if you're on a fixed income. They still go up, and the more you avoid it, the bigger it feels in your head. Then there's the later with your own life, the stuff you wanted for yourself. You wanted to clean out that garage. You wanted to go see that old buddy. You wanted to take your grandkid fishing. You wanted to drive out and see the lake one more time. You keep saying, when things calm down, like life ever calms down, it doesn't. It just changes its clothes. You see it in places like Walmart, too. You park out there, you sit in the car a second, and you think, "I'll go in tomorrow. It's crowded." Or you swing by CVS to pick up something, and you tell yourself you'll ask the pharmacist that question next time. Next time turns into 2 months, then 6. Then you're sitting at home wondering why you feel worse. Small delays stack up, and they don't stack in your favor. So here's the hard truth. The right time usually doesn't come. Most of us don't wake up feeling ready. We wake up feeling stiff, tired, and annoyed. The right time is something people use when they don't want to admit they're scared. And I'm telling you, being scared is normal, but living scared will steal your days. But I'm not going to give you some big speech about seize the day. I'm not a poster on a wall. I'm just an old guy telling you what works. After 60, you don't fix your life with giant plans. You fix it with small moves you can actually do. You don't need a makeover. You need a Tuesday. Here's what I want you to picture. You've got a calendar on the fridge. Maybe it's got a grandkid's photo stuck on it with a magnet, or you've got a sticky note and a pen right there by the phone. You write 2 words. This week. Big enough to see without your glasses. Then you write one thing under it, one thing you've been putting off. It could be as simple as call the clinic or pay the bill or make that appointment. It could be text Mike or drive to the park or clean one drawer. Not the whole house, not the whole life. One drawer. Then you put a day next to it. Not someday. A real day, like Wednesday. Then you do the boring part. You make it easy to follow through. You set the papers on the table where you can't ignore them, not shoved in a drawer. You put your shoes by the door if you need to go out, so you don't talk yourself out of it. You leave the phone charger right by your chair, so the phone is ready when you are. And when that day comes, you don't wait to feel like it. You do it even if you're not in the mood, because mood is a liar. You do it like you take out the trash, not because it's fun, but because it has to be done. Then you sit back down, you take a sip of coffee while it's still warm, and you let yourself feel that little bit of relief, because that's what you're really chasing. Relief, not excitement, not some big dream, just the weight off your chest. The weight of I should, the weight of I'll do it later, the weight of pretending you've got endless time. One small thing done can make you sleep better than a whole day of worrying. So if you're listening to me right now, do me a favor. Don't turn this into another later. When this part ends, get up, walk to that fridge, grab that pen, and write this week. Pick one thing, just one, and put it on a day. Then, do it. And when you're done, we'll talk about the next thing, the one nobody likes to say out loud, that feeling of being invisible. Part 2. Feeling invisible. Nobody notices. And that hurts and helps. You don't notice it all at once. It sneaks up on you. One day, you're out living your life. The next day, you feel like you're standing in the corner of the room, and nobody looks your way. It's not that people are mean. Most of them are just busy, staring at their own problems. But it still stings, because you can feel yourself fading a little. I've been in line at CVS, holding a bag of cough drops and a prescription, and the worker talks right past me like I'm not there. They'll look over my shoulder and ask the next person, "You paying cash or card?" And I'm standing there like a coat rack. At Walmart, it's the same thing. Bright lights, long line, and you're just another face they don't really see. You go home after that, and it sits on you, heavier than it should. Then you get that senior discount moment, and it hits you in a weird way. The cashier says, "You want the senior discount, sir," but they don't really look at your eyes. They just say it like reading a label. Part of you is glad to save a couple bucks, and part of you feels small, like your whole life got turned into a coupon. It's a strange mix, saving money while losing something you can't name. And it's not just strangers, it's the quiet in your own house. Your phone sits on the table, screen facing up, and it doesn't ring. You check it anyway. You tap it. You flip it over. You check it again like the phone might suddenly remember you exist. Listen, that little habit can mess with your head because it tells you a story all day long. The story is, nobody's thinking about you. Evenings can be the worst because evenings used to mean people. Now it's one plate, one fork, and the TV on low just to fill the room with some noise. You eat slow, not because you're enjoying it, but because there's no reason to rush. The shows keep talking, the commercials keep yelling, and you're sitting there like you're not part of the world. That kind of quiet can make a grown man feel like a kid again, in a bad way. A lot of us grew up with real places to connect, and those places are thinner now. Church used to mean you shook hands. You heard somebody say your name. You had coffee in the back and talked about nothing. The diner used to have the same faces, same booth, same waitress who called you Han, and it mattered more than people admit. A senior center can do the same thing, but some folks won't go because they don't want to be that old. But you already are, so you might as well use what's there. Part of this is just life moving on, and that's the truth. Kids grow up, they get jobs, they move to another state, and they build a life that doesn't run through your kitchen anymore. They love you, most of them do, but they're busy, and the days fly by for them. So you sit there staring at the phone, and you start taking it personal. But it ain't always personal. Sometimes it's just distance and time. Friends change too, and that one hurts in a quiet way. One buddy's knees are shot, so he doesn't drive at night anymore. Another friend's wife is sick, so he doesn't go out much. And when you call, he sounds tired in a way that scares you. Then you hear about somebody from years ago, and you realize they're gone, and nobody even told you right away. That's when you really feel the invisible thing, like your circle got smaller without asking you. So let me say the hard part. Feeling invisible can mess with your mind. When you go days without talking to anybody, your thoughts get loud, and they don't always tell the truth. You start replaying old mistakes, old fights, old regrets, like it's a movie you can't turn off. You can get stuck in your own head, and that's a dark place for anybody, young or old. That's why this can't be solved with pride. It gets solved with small contact. But here's the flip side, and it's real, not some sweet talk. Being invisible can also be freeing, because you don't have to put on a show anymore. You don't have to dress up your pain for anybody. You don't have to explain yourself to folks who don't care. You can be quiet on purpose. You can rest without feeling guilty. And you can stop chasing approval like it's a paycheck. Sometimes the best part of getting older is you finally get to be plain. Then the job is simple, not easy, but simple. You stop waiting for people to notice, and you choose one small way to be seen. Not online drama, not big speeches, just real life stuff. You go to church once, you sit in the back if you want, and you say hello to one person. Or you go to the diner for breakfast, and you make a habit of it. Same day, same time, because routines make connections. And if you don't have the energy for all that, start smaller. Pick up that phone on the table and call one person you trust, even if it's been a while. Say, "Hey, it's me. I was thinking about you," and stop right there. You don't need a long reason. Most people are lonely too. They're just hiding it better than you are. So don't wait to be noticed. Reach out once and let that be your first step out of the quiet. Part 3. Who are you carrying everything for less duty, less grinding? Saturday morning is supposed to feel like a breath, right? A slow cup of coffee, a little quiet. But the phone rings, and you already know what it is before you even look. "Hey, can you come watch the grandkids for a few hours? Or can you give me a ride? Or can you help me with this paperwork?" You say sure before your brain even catches up, because that's what you've always done. Then you look at that kitchen calendar on the fridge, the one with the big squares and the messy pen marks. Days are crossed off, appointments are circled, and your free time ain't free at all. It's rides, errands, favors, waiting rooms, and last-minute stuff other people didn't plan. You sit there staring at it, and you feel tired before you even put your shoes on. Listen, I'm not saying don't help your family. Helping is what families do. I get that. I'm built that way too. But there's a line, and a lot of folks your age are way past it. They're getting dragged around like an old work mule. The hard part is, nobody is holding a rope. You're the one handing it to them, because guilt is a strong thing. It starts with those little texts, the ones that always begin the same way. Can you just run over there? Can you just pick this up? Can you just talk to them for me? Can you just babysit one more time? Just is a funny word because it never stays small. It keeps growing until your whole week is full, and your body ain't the same as it used to be. That's the other truth nobody wants to say out loud. My back ain't what it used to be. My knees ain't what they used to be, and I don't bounce back from a long day anymore. You drive across town. You lift a kid into a car seat. You haul groceries. You climb stairs, and you pay for it that night. Then you wake up sore, and you still say yes again. Sometimes it's not even the work. It's the waiting. You drive somebody to a doctor's appointment. You sit in that clinic waiting room under bright lights, and you watch the clock crawl. You're doing a good thing, sure, but your day is gone, and nobody says, "Hey, I know that cost you something. You're not just spending time, you're spending your strength. And don't forget the money part, because gas money is real. You're on a fixed income, or close to it, and you're driving all over creation for other people's needs. Gas prices don't care that you're trying to be helpful. They just keep taking bites out of your wallet. One trip here, one trip there, and at the end of the month, you're wondering why things feel tight. Here's where I get a little irritated, in a loving way, because I've seen this play out. People will treat you like you're available all the time, if you act like you are. They don't mean to be cruel, but they get used to you being the answer. And if you never say no, they never learn to solve their own problems. They just learn to call you. Now, Thanksgiving and Sunday dinner. That's where this shows up big. Everybody rolls in hungry, and somehow you're the one standing in the kitchen doing the work, or you're the one cleaning up, or you're the one driving plates across town. Folks sit down, laugh, watch the game, and you're running around like you're hosting a small army. You love them, sure, but you also feel that quiet anger because nobody asks if you're tired. So let's talk about boundaries. Simple ones, not fancy words. A boundary is just you saying, this is what I can do, and this is what I can't. You don't need a long speech. You don't need a sad story. You don't need to defend it like you're on trial. You just say it calm, and you stop talking. Try this. I can't do it this week. That's it. One sentence. No extra. If they push, you say, I'm not able. And you stay quiet after, because silence is part of the boundary. The more you explain, the more they argue. So keep it short, keep it plain, keep it done. And if you're worried, they'll think you don't love them. Hear me? Love isn't proved by how tired you are. Love isn't you breaking your back so somebody else can avoid planning. Real love is you staying healthy enough to be around and staying steady enough to help when it truly matters. If you burn out, if you get hurt, if you get sick from stress, everybody loses, not just you. So pick one place to start, one small spot where you've been giving too much. Maybe it's babysitting every weekend. Maybe it's being the family taxi. Maybe it's being the paperwork person for everybody. Look at that fridge calendar, circle one day for yourself, and protect it like it's an appointment, because it is. Then, the next time that phone rings on Saturday morning, take a breath. And remember, you're allowed to say no, even to people you love. Part 4. Money After 60. You don't need rich. You need clear. Money fear after 60 is not loud. It's quiet. It sits with you at night. It's that moment when the house is dark and your brain starts doing math you never asked it to do. You think about how long the money has to last, and you don't even know the answer. That kind of guessing will wear you down more than the work ever did. I know how it goes. You bring the mail in, you set it on the kitchen table, and you tell yourself you'll open it after you eat. Then the pile gets thicker, and the coffee gets cold, and you keep pushing it to the side. You don't open it because you're lazy. You don't open it because you're scared. But that fear grows in the dark, and it shrinks in the light. So hear me. You don't need to be rich. You need to be clear. Clear means you know what comes in, you know what goes out, and you know what's left, even if it ain't much. Clear means you stop acting like the numbers are a mystery, and you face them like an adult. You can't fix what you won't look at. Most folks your age have that Social Security deposit coming in, and it matters. Every penny of it. Maybe it hits the account on the same day each month, and you feel a little relief. Then 2 days later, it feels gone. That's what happens when you've got bills stacked up and prices climbing. The deposit is steady, but the world around it isn't. And the bills now, they're not small, not the ones that matter. Medicare helps. Sure, but you still get co-pays. You still get those little charges that add up. Then there's prescriptions. And that pharmacy run to CVS or Walgreens, where you stand there looking at the total and thinking, how is this so much? You don't have to be sick to feel the cost. You just have to be older. Then you've got the house, and the house don't care how old you are. Property tax shows up like clockwork, homeowner's insurance goes up, and you pay it because you have to. And the worst is when something breaks, like the water heater dying on a random Tuesday. You didn't plan for it, but it's not asking for permission. It's just done, and now you're writing a check you didn't want to write. On top of that, the electric bill keeps coming. Summer or winter, doesn't matter. You want to stay comfortable, but that thermostat feels like a fight now. And gas prices. Don't even get me started. You go to fill up and you watch the numbers climb like it's a joke on you. It's hard not to feel trapped when every basic thing costs more than it used to. People will tell you, just budget, like that solves everything. Listen, budgeting ain't magic, but it's a flashlight, and a flashlight helps. The problem for most folks isn't that they spend on silly stuff. The problem is they're bleeding money in places they don't want to talk about, medical, housing, and helping other people. Those are the big three. Let's talk about helping grown kids, because that's a big one, and it's loaded. Your kid calls, they're short on rent, their car needs work, they had a rough month, and you love them, so you say yes. Then it happens again and again, and it turns into a quiet monthly bill nobody writes down. You tell yourself it's temporary, but temporary has a way of moving in and unpacking. I'm not saying don't help your kid, I'm saying help with your eyes open. If you give money and it makes you miss your own bills, that ain't help. That's you going under. You can love your kid and still say, I can't do that right now. You can offer something else, a ride, a meal, advice, but you don't have to keep lighting yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm. And yeah, people throw around words like 401k and IRA, like it's some secret club. It's not that deep. It's just money you put away when you were working. For the you that's sitting here now. If you've got one, good. If you don't, you're not a bad person. You're just where you are. The point is, you should know what you've got and what you can safely take without guessing. Now let me say something that bothers folks. Downsizing. A lot of people hear that and think failure, like moving to a smaller place means you lost. But sometimes downsizing is relief. It's breathing room, it's sleeping better. Less house means less to fix, less to heat, less to insure, and less to worry about when your knees hurt and the stairs feel steep. Downsizing can also mean selling some stuff, not because you're broke, but because you're done carrying it. It can mean a smaller home, an apartment closer to stores, or even moving nearer to help if you need it. Pride will keep you in a big house you can't manage, and pride is expensive. Peace is cheaper than pride, and it feels better too. All right, here's the simple 15-minute way to get clear. And I mean simple. Sit at the kitchen table, put the mail in one pile, put your banknote or checkbook in front of you, and keep a pen in your hand. Write down what comes in each month. Social Security, any pension, anything else, just the totals. Then write your 3 biggest costs, housing, medical, and the electric bill, and circle the numbers. Then write down anything that keeps popping up, gas money, prescriptions, helping family, eating out, whatever it is. Don't judge it, just write it, because shame makes people lie to themselves. When you're done, look at what's left, even if it's small, because that number is your truth. And once you've got truth, you can make real choices, not panic choices. If you take one thing from me, take this. Pretending is what breaks people. The bills don't go away because you avoid them. They just get meaner. But when you face your money straight, it gets quieter inside your head, and that matters. You don't need to be rich. You need to be clear, and clear starts at your own kitchen table. Part 5. Health After 60. Stop being stubborn. I know that stubborn streak. I've had it my whole life. You wake up sore. Your knee talks back when you stand, and you say, I'm fine, like saying it makes it true. But after 60, that I'm fine line can cost you your freedom real fast. Tough guys don't win against time. They just fall harder. You ever sit in the car in a clinic parking lot, hands on the steering wheel, and think, I'm probably fine. I don't need to go in. You look at the building, you look at the clock, and you start making deals with yourself. If it still hurts next week, I'll call. You tell yourself. Then next week comes, and you say the same thing again. Then you finally go in, and it's the same routine every time. The waiting room smells like old carpet and hand sanitizer, and there's that little clipboard with forms you can't read without your glasses. They wrap that blood pressure cuff on your arm. It squeezes too tight, and you try to act like it doesn't bother you. The nurse calls your name, and you stand up slow, like your body is older than your pride. A lot of folks skip this stuff because they don't want the bill. I get it. Medicare helps, but you still have that copay moment at the window, and it bugs you. You hand over your card, you nod like it's no big deal, and you feel it anyway. But listen, the copay is cheaper than losing your legs, your balance, or your mind. Here's the part that really trips people up, being too proud to ask questions. The doctor talks fast, the words blur together, and you just nod because you don't want to look dumb. Then you go home with a new pill and no real clue what it's for. That's not strength, that's just silence. So the next stop is CVS or Walgreens, and you know that counter well. You pick up prescriptions, you stare at the label, and the small print might as well be ants on paper. You take it home and set it by the coffee maker, and you tell yourself you'll remember. But remembering gets harder when you're tired, and tired is most days, and tired isn't just in your head, it's in your body. It's back pain that makes you grip the sink when you bend down. It's knee pain that makes stairs feel like a bad deal. It's that short breath going up the steps, or getting dizzy when you stand up too quick. None of that means you're weak. It means you're human, and you're aging like the rest of us. I had a neighbor, good man, proud as they come, who didn't want to go in. He kept saying he'd wait it out, and he kept pushing through like pain was something you could ignore forever. Then it got worse, not overnight, just little by little, until he couldn't do the things he used to do. That's the real danger. It's not one big crash. It's the slow slide you pretend isn't happening. This isn't about living forever. All right? Nobody gets out of here alive, and anybody selling you forever is selling you something. This is about not losing your independence too early, not ending up stuck because you were too proud to get checked. It's about keeping your balance, keeping your head clear, keeping your feet under you. And the fix is mostly boring, which is why it works. Sleep matters more than people want to admit, because when you don't sleep, everything hurts more, and your mood goes sour. Turn the TV off and give your brain a chance to quiet down, even if you don't feel sleepy yet. You don't have to sleep like a baby. You just have to stop running your mind all night. Then there's movement, and you don't need a gym to do it. A 10-minute walk after dinner can change your whole week because it keeps your joints from locking up and your mind from sinking. Put on your shoes, go slow, and come back before you talk yourself out of it. 10 minutes is not a workout plan. It's just you telling your body, we're not done yet. And when you're at the doctor, do one brave thing. Speak up. Say, slow down, or say that again, or write it down for me. Ask what the pill is for. Ask when to take it. Ask what to watch for, and don't feel bad about it. The point is not to act tough. The point is to stay standing. So if you're listening and you've been saying, I'm fine for a year, hear me? Maybe you're not fine. And that's okay. Make one call, go to one checkup, pick up your meds and take them right. Take that short walk after dinner and turn the TV off so you can sleep. You still have a shot at feeling better, but you got to stop being stubborn long enough to help yourself. Part 6. House and stuff. Clear it out. Lighten your life. You ever open the garage door and just stand there, not even stepping in, because it feels like you're looking at 20 years of later, boxes stacked up to the ceiling, stuff you forgot you owned, stuff you swore you'd sort one day, the garage, the basement, the attic, they all turn into the same thing after a while, a storage unit you already paid for with your own house. And the funny part is, most of it ain't even useful. It's holiday tubs, Christmas lights that don't work, ornaments wrapped in old newspaper, and that one fake tree you keep because you paid good money for it back in the day. There's old tools you haven't touched since Clinton was in office, a dusty ladder leaning in the corner, and a box of cords you don't know what they plug into. You keep thinking, I might need it, but you never do. People don't keep junk because they love junk, they keep it because it's tied to something. A memory? A person? A time when the house was full. You pick up a little thing, an old baseball glove, a school trophy, a pan with a dent in it, and it hits you right in the chest. Then guilt shows up because throwing it out feels like throwing away the past. So you set it back down and the pile stays. But listen, clutter doesn't just sit there like a harmless stack of boxes. Clutter turns into danger real fast. You trip over stuff. You slip on something you didn't see. You try to step around a pile and your knee twists the wrong way. And when you're older, a fall isn't just a fall. It can change your whole year. You don't need that risk in your own home. It also turns into stress because you can't find what you actually need. You need your paperwork, your insurance card, your meds, a phone number, and you're digging through piles like you're searching for a lost dog. You get mad, you get tired, and you end up sitting down, breathing hard, thinking, why is my own house fighting me? Your house shouldn't fight you. And here's another truth. Nobody wants to say, my kids will have to deal with this. If you leave it all as is, one day your family is going to be standing in your garage, looking at your life in boxes, and they won't know what matters and what doesn't. They'll be stressed, they'll argue, and they'll end up having an estate sale or hiring a crew to haul it away. That's a heavy gift to leave behind, and you don't have to do that to them. Plus, it costs money to keep junk. Some folks pay for storage, month after month, for stuff they haven't seen in years. Others pay to haul it away later, and that ain't cheap either. You can spend a few $100 easy just to get rid of what you've been dragging around for free in your head. You don't need that expense, and you don't need that weight. Now, I'm not telling you to live like a monk, and I'm not telling you to throw away your whole history. I'm saying pick what you keep on purpose instead of keeping everything by default. You don't honor people by stacking boxes. You honor them by remembering them, and by making your life safer while you're still here to live it. So here's the way you start, and it has to be small, or you won't do it. You pick one junk drawer in the kitchen, the one with the batteries, old manuals, rubber bands, and receipts from 5 years ago. You open it, you take 10 things out, and you throw them away, right then. Dead batteries, mystery keys, broken pens, papers you don't need, 10 items, and then you stop. Then you do one box only, not the whole garage. You set it on the table. You sort it into 3 simple piles. Keep, donate, trash. If it's something useful, but you don't use it, put it in the donate pile. If it's broken, or you can't even tell what it is, trash it. And if it makes your heart tug, fine. Keep it. But keep it because you chose it, not because you couldn't decide. When you've got a donate bag, you take it out of the house fast, because if it sits by the door, it crawls back into the garage. Drop it at Goodwill, Salvation Army, or a church donation bin, and don't overthink it. Somebody out there can use that stuff, and you can use the space. That's a fair trade. And while you're at it, do one safety check. Clear a path where you walk at night, to the bathroom, to the kitchen, to the door. Make sure you can find your meds and your paperwork without digging. Put the important stuff in one spot, one folder, one drawer, and tell yourself, this is where it lives. Small things like that keep you steady. So yeah, this is work. And it's not fun work, but it's honest work, and it pays you back in a quiet way. A clearer house means a clearer head, and a safer floor means you stay on your feet. You don't have to do it all today, you just have to start. One drawer, one box, 10 items, and stop. Then do it again, another day. Part 7. Kids far away, family changes. Stay close without begging. There's a kind of quiet that shows up after 60, and it ain't the good kind. It's you eating dinner alone, one plate, one fork, the TV on low, like it's a roommate. You're not even watching the show. You just don't want the house to sound empty. And yeah, that can hurt more than people admit. You remember how it used to be, and you don't have to dress it up. Thanksgiving used to mean noise, coats on the couch, somebody bumping into somebody, and too much food. Now there's an empty chair, and the quiet sits right in it. You can still be grateful and still feel that ache. Both things can be true. A lot of it is simple life. Kids grow up, and they go where the jobs are. They live in another state, maybe even 2 states away. And time zones make it weird. You call too early, and they're rushing to work. You call too late, and the kids are in bed, and they're tired. It's not always that they don't care. It's that their day is packed tight. Then you look at the fridge, and there's old family photos stuck up with magnets, little faces, big smiles, a time when everybody was right there in the same zip code. Or you pull up a photo on your phone, and you stare at it longer than you meant to. That's when you feel it, not angry, just lonely. And texting can make it worse if you let it. You send a short message, "Hey, love you, hope your day's okay," and you see it says, "Seen with no answer." Or they reply late, like 2 days later, with a quick, "Busy. Sorry." That can make you feel like you're begging, even if you weren't. So listen, don't beg, and don't go quiet and bitter either. Begging makes you feel small, and bitterness makes you mean, and neither one helps. The goal is simple. Stay close with your head up. You can miss them and still hold your own ground. Here's what works better than hoping. A small plan, not a big emotional talk. Pick one day that's already a family day in America. Sunday. Tell them straight, "Can we do a 10-minute call on Sunday?" Just 10 minutes, and then stop talking. 10 minutes is easy to say yes to, and it adds up over time. And keep your texts clean and short, no guilt, no heavy stuff. One line, "Thinking of you," or "How's work?" or "Give the kids a hug for me." If they answer, great. If they don't, you don't punish them with silence. You just try again later, like a steady person, not like a wounded one. If you need something, say it plain without loading it with a speech. "I miss you" is fine. "I'd like to hear your voice this week" is fine. What doesn't help is, "You never call," or "I guess you forgot about me." That kind of talk makes people avoid you because nobody wants to pick up the phone and get hit with a brick. Visits are tricky too because they cost real money and real energy. Plane tickets aren't cheap, and gas money adds up fast if you're driving a long way. And driving long hours is harder now. Your back gets tight, your eyes get tired, and you don't recover like you used to. So you plan smarter, shorter trips, fewer days, and you pick the times that actually work. But here's the part. A lot of folks don't want to hear. Your whole life can't hang on one phone call. If your happiness depends on your kid texting you back, you're going to suffer because you can't control them. What you can control is your own day and your own people, right where you live. That's how you stop feeling like you're waiting at the window. You build a new family nearby, and it doesn't have to be fancy. It can be church, where somebody knows your name and asks how you're doing. It can be the diner, same booth, same time, where you see familiar faces. It can be a senior center, or a library group, or a VFW, or American Legion Hall, places where folks your age still talk like humans. And yeah, the first time you go, it can feel awkward. You might walk in and think, "I don't belong here," or "I'm too old for this," or "I don't know anybody." But you don't go to feel comfortable. You go to be around people. Comfort comes later, after you show up a few times. The truth is, family changes, and it keeps changing whether you like it or not. Kids move, friends slow down, people get busy, and the house gets quieter. That's normal, and it hurts, and you don't have to pretend it doesn't. But you also don't have to fall apart over it. So do this. Keep it simple. Set the Sunday 10-minute call. Send one short text during the week, and say what you need without guilt. Then, pick one local place and show up. Once a week, even if it's just for coffee. Stay close, stay steady, and don't beg, because you're not asking for the moon. You're asking for a little real human life. Part 8. Purpose after 60. Not passion, just a reason to get up tomorrow. Morning can feel strange when you don't have to go anywhere. The coffee pot clicks on, the kitchen clock keeps ticking like it always did, and the TV remote is sitting right there on the table. No boss, no time card, no "I gotta be out the door by 8. Retirement sounds nice until you realize some days you don't have a reason to put your shoes on. You sit on the porch steps, or in that old chair you've had forever, and you look out at the street. Cars go by, folks head to work, and nobody's calling you today. That can mess with you, because being needed used to be your whole thing. You weren't just working for money, you were working so the day had shape. So when work is gone, the days can blend together. Tuesday feels like Saturday, then Saturday feels like Tuesday. You forget what day it is, you forget why you got up, and you start drifting. That's where the TV comes in, Because it's easy. It fills the room. It asks nothing from you. And if you're not careful, TV all day will swallow you whole. I'm not saying you can't watch a little TV. I watch it too. I'm saying when it becomes your main plan, your mind starts going dark, you sit there too long, you stop moving, you stop calling people back, and the couch starts feeling like a trap. Then you go to bed feeling empty, and you wake up feeling the same. People talk about finding your passion like you're supposed to turn 70 and suddenly become a brand new person. Listen, most folks don't need passion. They need a reason to get up tomorrow, a reason to wash your face, a reason to step outside. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. And the best way to get a reason is to give your day a little structure. Nothing fancy. You don't need a planner with colors and stickers. You need 3 small things. 1 thing for your body, 1 thing for your mind, and 1 thing for another person. That's it. 3 parts, like a simple meal. For your body, keep it small and steady. A short walk on a walking path, 10 minutes, or even just around the block. If it's cold, walk in the hallway of your building or walk inside your house, back and forth. Doesn't matter. The point is to move, because moving tells your body, I'm still here. For your mind, do 1 small thing that isn't just noise. Read a few pages. Do a crossword. Listen to a radio show you actually pay attention to. Go to a library group if you've got one nearby. Those places are quiet, but they're not lonely. Or learn 1 little thing on purpose. How to cook something simple, how to fix something small, anything that makes your brain wake up. Then do 1 thing for another person, because that's where purpose grows. Check on a neighbor, not in a big dramatic way, just a quick knock. You doing all right? Call a buddy for 5 minutes, even if it's just to talk about the weather and the game. Bring somebody a plate of food if you cook, nothing fancy, just something warm and decent. And don't overlook the small chores, because chores can save you when you're drifting. Taking out the trash gives the day a start and an end. Folding laundry makes you feel like you're taking care of your own life. Watering a plant, wiping the counter, paying the electric bill. These things aren't exciting, but they keep you anchored. A man with no anchors gets pulled out to sea by his own thoughts. You also need a place to show up, somewhere outside your house, even if it's once a week. Church can work, if that's your thing, because it puts you around people and gives you a schedule. A senior center can work because they've got coffee, games, and folks who know what it's like to be older. The diner can work too. You sit at the same table, the waitress learns your name, and that alone can lift a person. And pick 1 day to mark time, so the week doesn't turn into one long blur. Sunday is good for that. Sunday morning, Sunday call, Sunday dinner, whatever fits your life. You don't have to make it a big family thing. Just make it a, this is my day thing. When you can point to Sunday, the rest of the week has edges again. Now, none of this fixes loneliness overnight, but it does something important. It gives you a reason to stand up straight. It gives your day a backbone, and when your day has a backbone, your mind is less likely to collapse in on itself. You don't need to feel inspired. You just need to do the next small thing. So here's what I want you to do, and I mean tomorrow, not someday. Before you go to bed, pick 3 small things for tomorrow. 1 for your body, 1 for your mind, 1 for another person. Write them down if you have to, and then do them. Pick 3 small things for tomorrow, and do them.